wonder why we're playing on this map. If we're blind.
Because they think you're going to macro and he's not.
Maybe swarm hosts or something like that could be cool. There is a lot of airspace from either one of those bases that Blight could take. But yeah, anything goes for the map.
Yeah, there's also one of these maps where Bly can make everything look super normal for the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and then he's suddenly like, surprise, 40 Zerglings. And you're like, what? How is this even good? Oh, he's sending a drone to the other side of the map as well.
Money for a hatchery as well. So
yeah. Oh, this is your play ball or your ballpark.
He's got it. Beautiful.
Oh my goodness. How good is this, Cats? How good is it?
That was A+. I mean, dropping hatcheries like this is a little bit of an art, Roddy. You kind of need a couple of probes chasing that drone if you don't want that to happen, because otherwise, as soon as you get paced, you get enough space between the probe and the drone that you can do this. And this is nasty. I mean, it throws Kung Fu Bananas plan out the window.
Yep. Now he's gonna deal with this in a very similar way that I saw Showtime deal with it the other day. It's just one chrono boost on the gateway. Zealot comes out, and having 4 probes on the low ground, it's gonna make it pretty much impossible for this hatchery to finish up. But Bly is obviously gonna try to be super annoying, cancel it, and then build the Evo chamber real quick. How hard is it to do that?
It's a little bit difficult. You have to be really quick to do it. Also, down to the Protoss and how they have set up the surround. I think if you have like one probe on each side of the hatchery, it's much more difficult to do because they encroach from every position at the same time. But this time around, the Evo chamber will finish. Has to cancel. All right. Really nice job from Bly. All in all, right? Like delays the Nexus quite a bit there.
And this is, in general, all that Bly needs. It's not that Bly is not capable of playing normal macro games. It's just that if he is playing a normal game, he wants the timings to be a little bit off, so his magic works better, and the Protoss in general feels a little more uncomfortable. And that's definitely something that he's been achieving so far. Now, the downside of opening up like this is that your Zergling speed is going to be much later than it normally is. And that means there is some good potential here for the Adept, but excellent save there by Bly on his first drone.
Yeah, really, really well done by him. And he will deflect this attack without much trouble. Also already getting his link speed, so prioritizing that over the third. The only problem I have with this is it might be a little bit difficult to take the third. And look at the diligence of Kung Fu Banda leaving one probe back here.
You hatch block me, I pylon block you.
Hells yeah.
The Adept actually going for the drone here, wants to get the kill, but good job by Bly zoning the Adept away with his Zerglings, getting that hatchery done as well. I know none of this is game breaking, but I feel like a lot of the little victories have definitely gone in favor of Bly so far.
Yeah, so far, and that's what he wants is the chaos. Like you said, nothing is game breaking. The hatchery is a wash. I mean, you don't really get super far ahead from it. It's just the chaos that you induce into the game. Drop your opponent, catch your opponent off guard, force them to vary their playstyle, and then they're kind of playing your game, right? Because if you're playing an adaptive game and you force your opponent to do the same, that's playing to your strengths if you're Black.
I do want to play out there that it's not Kung Fu messing up so far, but it's Bly. Look at that supply block that he was facing. That was a big one. He was already at 44 out of 44 before that Overlord even started. And he was going up to 700 minerals 4 minutes into the game. I can tell you guys that is super uncommon in professional StarCraft 2.
It most definitely is, and that's gonna be really difficult to recover from as well. And he made a bunch of links too. He will find a probe and delay the third at least with them. Maybe even cancel this pylon, so that's something. But that's huge. I mean, like you just mentioned, Roddy. I don't know. I think that he's behind now, right?
Yeah, it didn't happen once, but twice his minerals spiked above 700. I find that so insane, because this is that phase in the game where I feel normally Bly is really good and he's very clean and on point, on top of everything. These are mistakes that I don't expect to see out of him. Like, if it happens a little bit later while he's defending like War Prism harassment, or he's trying to engage an army in a very complicated manner, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it makes sense, and maybe he messes up in the macro department. But this early on into the game, his economy could have been so much better than it actually is. Like, he's still down in workers 5 minutes into the game. He will probably get another cancel, so Bly is getting a lot of the big stuff right, but he's messing up the minor things at home.
Yeah, at least that Oracle falls at the third on the side of Kung Fu, but he has a lot of Adepts moving into the natural now, and they could take a good position at the ramp. So that is a safe zone for him. Will snipe one drone and move on to the main where there's nothing, Roddy.
Yep, there is nothing. Roaches are in production. I would love to see him cancel the shade with at least
Yeah,
a couple of
for sure.
adapts, and that's
Oh, come
exactly
on.
what
Okay.
Gung Fu
Perfect.
does. Yeah, this is really good play by Gung Fu, and Bly just wasn't ready for this because he was making too many macro errors during the first 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and I mean, Gong Fu is just destroying Bly on the back of that, Roddy. There's not much to dissect in terms of strategy here.
Wow.
Cool start, but really Bly's supply blocks are now paying dividends for Gong Fu.
Yeah, this should not have been the case because Bly got a couple of victories that are normally hard to get, right? They're getting the double cancel on the Nexus or the first time, preventing it from even going down, grabbing the probe, getting the pylon, then getting the cancel later on. All of that stuff is really cool. He saved drones early on against the one adept. It all visually looked very nice what he was doing. But
Yeah.
he actually messed up so hard when it came to his own macro. And it wasn't even that he was under any pressure. I guess he just got a little too carried away running around with his Zerglings or something.
I'm not sure, Roddy. Even at the start, yeah, he got the hatch block, and that was awesome, and the way that he did it was very skillful. But at the same time, he didn't have, at that point, a drone at the third, for example. If he wasn't able to drop that hatchery, he would have just dropped a pool with 400 resources. You know, that's what he would have had to do. So even then, it was pretty scary, and that happened to go in his favor. But it could have just, you know, been disastrous. So we're finding disaster later on. But I'm actually worried for Bly's game here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at one point he was down 18 workers. That's just kind of insane. And if you join in right now, you might be like, oh, they're kind of close economically, but Bly's stack is not where you want it to be. And maybe that's why he's going for the Spire. Obviously, the Queens are terribly out of position here as well. The Oracles just show up, grab a few more drones. I mean, I think Gonk was playing all right. I gotta say, there is a little Roach counterattack that's actually finding some really good value. I have no idea how they got there, but Bly managed to get 8 probes.
Yeah, I mean, that's something 8 for 8, but at this point, that's not a great trade for Bly, who has been suffering more losses for sure. Very cute, though, with just a few roaches. A handful killed a lot.
Yep. Now, the Spire, I believe, has still not been scouted. Nope. So that Spire has gone completely undetected. And Blink Stalkers are alright, obviously, but I feel whenever you play against Midas, you just want to know that it's coming, you want to see it in advance. Midas can potentially make a sick comeback here for Bly, which he absolutely needs, because I think the rest of the game is looking awful. But hey, with Midas, a lot of things are suddenly possible.
I completely agree. There's 8 on the way. If they are unscouted and pop on the side of the map of Gong Fu Banda, then Gong Fu Banda will be forced onto a potential all-in. I'm not sure that they got spotted there. But from here on, I don't want to see any more drones from Bly. I want to see just army units getting ready to defend the eventual counterattack. Let's see. The Mutas choose to go for the Oracles, which is kind of like the safe play. I mean, they're expensive units that you want to get rid of, but I don't know. I feel like doing economic damage is so huge as well. Can't have it all, I guess.
Yeah, I always feel that when you know Midas are out with those Oracles, you may as well just suicide them on top of the mineral line, right? Because they'll go down anyway if the Midas are facing it. That first Phoenix is taking quite a few shots. You don't want to lose the Phoenix, especially not if you're going to try to grow the Phoenix count. But Blink is almost done. I really wouldn't mind a Chrono Boost on the Twilight Council here. I think that would make Bly's or Gong Fu's life a lot easier. I mean, at least we still have a game on our hands. It's not been a pretty game. This is not the game that I would show off to tell people, look how clean and amazing the pros plays in general, but we've got a fun game on our hands because at this point, I feel Bly is completely back into it.
Most definitely. Really good pickups here. One thing that Gong Fu could have also done with those Oracles is run them any other direction, right? Because if he buys enough time, then all of a sudden you're dealing with 2 or 3 Phoenix with the Muta. Wow, these roaches, though, out of nowhere come in. And they're kind of trapped now is the problem. I'm not sure I like it too much.
Yeah, it's a little bit risky because now there is a chance that as soon as Gong Fu cleans this up, that he just runs to the other side of the map. And it's not that Bly has an insane economy that he's able to build 20 roaches at once. He's actually building 13 more Mutalisks. What?
Yeah, I think if Gong Fu actually goes across the map, that might be the one thing that Bly is hoping for, right? He's only making units right now, mostly Ling Muta.
I mean, I like turning around against Phoenixes every now and then to keep the Protoss players sharp, but probably not with 5 Mutalisks that were already very low on HP.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe he just wants the second wave to be a complete surprise. And I mean, it's going to work in the sense that Gong Fu has stopped producing Phoenix completely, right? There's only going to be 2 on the map. Is this number of Muta the amount to reveal with? It looks like it. They're going to take one of their 2 main threats.
Another Phoenix goes down. This meter count is suddenly very high. I don't think Gongfu was expecting the 12 additional Mutalisks to be built. Now, battery overcharge is going to keep the battery safe for now, and it's also going to make life a bit easier for the Stalkers. At this point, Gongfu is like, wait a minute, this crazy Ukrainian Zerg is serious about the Mutas. I guess I have to be serious about the Phoenixes, so he goes double Stargate and a Fleet Beacon.
Yeah, so he really is leaning in heavily. A lot of links being produced by Bly, so he might look to target that Colossus, but as he approaches, the Blink Stalkers blink, as they often do, and shoot the Muta away for now.
They're really good at that, aren't they?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
They should find something else, you know? I'm so tired of Stalkers pulling out the same move over and over again.
It would be nice if they force fielded once in a while.
Yeah, just anything, you know, duplicate, I don't know. Alright, another forward blink there, and a few meters go down, but 5 more probes go down as well. Bly has a pretty big army of just Roaches, Lings, and a couple of Banelings as well. One Colossus is very important here, and gets a couple of good shots off. The force fields are excellent. Corrosive Bile is going to come a little too late.
I'm not sure. I mean, those all of those Banelings connected, right? So that was pretty decent. It wasn't very many, but it will do for now. Bly is maxed with a huge Muta count here.
If you would have told me that Bly was going to max out in this game after he lost 18 drones, I would have been like, questionable, but we'll see. But here we are, guys. Bly is actually maxed out, and on top of that, he's even going into Hive. So if Gongfu makes an insane amount of Phoenixes, we could potentially see some parasitic bombs as well. This game is just wild at this point. I have no idea what I'm watching.
Absolutely. I mean, there is 5 bases for Bly. The creep spread isn't perfect, but it's good enough because it's been uncontested. Bly has done a great job of staying aggressive and out on the map, but if Gongfu manages to situate these 4 bases and get an army enough big to or big enough to move out, then, you know, Bly's army is not particularly good at fighting.
Nope, it's definitely not the ultimate Zerg army, and that's why Bly is going to try to trade out his forces and find some more economic damage just one more time, or maybe reset that army of the Protoss. But the Banelings are having a really hard time connecting with the Immortals and Colossus, and this attack is not that pretty so far. But the Mutalisks at the same time at the base at 3 o'clock are able to get a lot of work done. And now the Roaches get on top of the Immortals and the Colossus. It doesn't make any sense, but I guess in these numbers, Bly is able to get it done.
Yeah, I guess that is just too much stuff at this point, right? 50 supply over. It didn't look pretty, but it does the job for the time being. It's the Muta that keep backstabbing. So while one side looks great for the Protoss or okay for the Protoss, it's the other one where the action is really happening. And Bly taking a commanding lead. 6 base now going to.
Yep, and obviously if the Phoenixes are forced to help out the main army, that also means that indeed the opening is there for the Mutas once more. Now any Impulse Crystals is done, so these Mutas, I really kind of think that their time is over. Bly is making Corruptors now, which, I don't know, it's a bit odd to me, but we'll see where he goes with that.
Yeah, I think he just wants to fight the Phoenix with the Muta, right? If the Corruptors are in front, then he has little to fear. Those guys are gonna survive for a while. More Banelings from Bly.
So do you think Bly is going to make even more Mutas as well? Because right now his Muta count is not that high anymore.
Maybe if he gets an opening. I mean, if the Phoenix count is reset or something of the sort, he made 2 Vipers. So maybe with Parasitic Bomb, I think there's an opening back into air. Because we really haven't seen many or any Archons or anything like that from Gongfu, right? He's really relying on those Phoenix against the Muta.
Yeah, there's actually no way for him to make Archons at this point. There's no Templar Archives, there is no Dark Shrine. Obviously, when I say that, he's making a Dark Shrine, but that's gonna take a little while before that's even done.
Ooh.
Bly has honestly played very well. The early game macro looked very rough, and those were a few errors that he really shouldn't have made, but he's made some great plays with the units he did have.
Yeah, all to his credit. I mean, to come back from a position like that against, you know, a player of the caliber of Gongfu really speaks to the plays that he has made as well. And wow, Colossi will get sniped. That leaves the Banelings free to roll into the Stalkers. Now the Corruptors are gonna push back the Phoenixes as the Muta are allowed to fight. This is a fine trade for Bly. It's not what, you know, it's not amazing. He doesn't win the game. I think it's good enough, Roger.
Yep, a couple of Banelings sneaked into the mineral line as well. That +2 melee upgrade is done, and that means that Banelings will one-shot. Now, there are even a couple of Zerglings in the natural, but there was a safety cannon there. But once again, 13 probes go down. And sure, the Phoenixes are dealing some damage, getting a couple of Overlords. They can't really fight Queens and Corruptors at the same time.
Definitely. And if we look at the resources lost tab, it's Bly that has clearly been throwing armies into his opponent, but that's the kind of strategy and the kind of play that he is going for. Though we've said it, Roddy, I think if GongFu passes a threshold of supply, something like 170, or at least starts getting Storm or something a little bit more durable, he could still stabilize. This is still very much a game.
Yeah, because it's not the ultimate Zerg army, Red. I gotta say, I love the abducts on the Colossus in the previous fight. I thought that was really cool. Resetting that Robo unit count one more time. I'd almost love to see Bly get his first Broodlords and maybe start morphing them in the center of the map, because they're so slow, right? And it's kind of hard to get them towards the other side. There we go. 6 Broodlords are on the way now. But while Thermal Lens is only now finishing up, I can only assume that GongFu just completely forgot about that, because I feel like he's had Colossus out on the map for like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, he's never had too many Colossus, but he's always had Colossus, so definitely something that he would have wanted to do if he was going to continue to produce them, and he has.
A couple of Dark Templars are chilling on the bottom side of the map, by the way. If those DTs, as we have one Dark Templar attacking the hatch as well on the top left side.
They're just chilling.
Yeah, but if they dive on top of the Spore Crawler, this can really mess Bly up, especially once Bly now has Broodlords out. We know that those Broodlords armies are very hard to move around as a Zerg player.
Yeah, I talked about the creep spread earlier and how it wasn't so great. Now it's even worse, as GongFu Banda has done a good job of pushing it back. So there's only one active strain of creep, if not none. Tempest now being made too.
I am not a big fan of Tempest, but I think in a game like this, it's not too bad, because Bly doesn't really have many things that are great against the Tempest. Now, 10 Corruptors can obviously just right-click on top of them, but you have to be careful, because there's a lot of Stalkers on the ground, and you can't really win every kind of a fight if you're Zerg here, so maybe a Tempest or two to keep the Broodlords at bay is not a bad choice.
Yeah, I think it's good. I see where you're coming from. I think you prefer the carrier army if we're looking to max, but I think these are more defensive than anything else.
Yep.
Tempests, right? I'm not sure if there's any other unit that he could make that would fare as well. This is a huge army from Bly. GongFu is not ready. I'm not liking his chances too much.
The DTs, by the way. Yep, the DTs at the third base, diving on top of the Spore Crawler, and this is where things get annoying. Now, the entire army of Bly is actually turning around.
Wow.
And obviously, the more time goes by, the better of a response that GongFu is going to have against the Broodlords that are out. The Broodlords are left alone in the center, so Bly is actually in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to try to turn around again. First Purification Nova gets just Zerglings. GongFu shouldn't get too overeager, because his army is actually still kind of small.
Yeah, I mean, that was nice to jump on the Broodlords. Maybe didn't need to bring the Colossus along. And now he's going to go to the barrier of those Tempests. But still no Storm available. And there's so many little units. There's no AoE on the side of GongFu. I'm not sure how he's going to get rid of all the little guys in time.
That's actually a great call. There is nothing here that's very good against Zerglings, and that's not something we normally say. 19 minutes into the game, but the Corruptors will run forward. And how do you take care of the little guys, as you like to call them? I think the answer is you simply don't. Banelings could connect with the probes one more time. Don't forget, these are +2 Banelings, so they will one-shot the workers. And I think this time GongFu is just not going to stabilize anymore. Wow, the Zerglings being
Oh, these Banelings! They were so happy. Wow. Really cool game.
I cannot believe that Zerglings were the most impactful unit in a 19-minute game. Well, final fight of a 19-minute game. There was just nothing in GongFu's army that was good against Lynx. No Storm, no Archons, no Colossus. Not something we normally worry about. But yeah, if your army is mostly Stalker Tempest, then suddenly Zerglings become very problematic to deal with again.
Yeah, it's something that happens sometimes in CVT against mech. When you get rid of all that, you're like, okay, the Hellions and the Hellbats are gone. I'm gonna flood the Thors with Lings because they shoot so slow, so they're bad at taking care of them. The weird thing about this one is that Bly had been going Ling Baneling all game long, so it's not like he got caught off guard by anything. He just didn't choose to account for them at all.
I truly love the way that Bly was chipping away at the economy of GongFu throughout the entirety of the game. He never got the insane amount of damage, but it was just 10 plus probes over and over and over again. And it really made it almost impossible for GongFu to max out, because he was spending so much money on infrastructure as well and a little bit on static defenses. And that probe count was never at 80. It was always hovering around the 60s, and then It would sometimes hop into 70, but then it would lose 12 again. Honestly, a very fun game by Bly. I think he did a great job. The early game wasn't that pretty, but after that, I think Bly made the most out of what he was working with, and that honestly wasn't that much, so a very impressive victory.
Very much so indeed. And now we're going to jump into game number 2, and this is going to be on Everdream. Oh, this is a Bly map if I've ever seen one, Roddy.
Yep, and we have Rich Vespian guys is in the center, and we know that he likes to utilize them. I think also just a good map for a proxy hatchery if you want to bust down the wall, right? Maybe with Link Spine or just a...
Now we're talking, Roddy.
Yeah, I know
the
what
way.
you like.
I mean, it is the kind of map for it, right? There is a flat surface that allows for spine pushes and the likes, but I've most often seen Bly go for the Ravagers on this map. So let's see if that's what he does. It's the man on the top right. He is on fire. He is Bly.
A really big series for this man, spawning in the bottom left side of Everdream. I often say he's made out of raw German steel and twisted sex appeal. It's Kung Fu Bandit.
One of the 3 German Protoss in this group, actually.
Oh, wow, I never thought about that. I guess Showtime and Spats are in this group as well.
Yes, sir. That's crazy. There's so many good German Protosses right now.
I know. Imagine Lambo's Protoss in the group too. And you have 4.
Oh, he could do it too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, all these top European players, like, their off races are so good. It's not even funny. Well, Bly is actually kind of disappointing us. He's just taking his hatchery like a normal human being. Yeah, this is weird.
Really weird.
Kung Fu is shaking in his boots right now. He's like, hey, what's going on? Is there another hatchery in my main base? Did I miss the drone or something? Like, this is just not the way we expect a Bly game to start off. Now, this map is still very small, and the Roach Ling all-ins are pretty powerful here as well. Even marching queens to the other side of the map is an option.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced
option.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced that we are watching a completely normal game.
Oh, I want to say, Kung Fu, you don't want to block that third. Because if you block that third, I want to say Bly is not going to disappoint us again. And he's not. I love it. Okay. That's my boy. I like it.
Yep, now that forward base as well, that if you do want to take go for a Roach Ling Ravager all-in, obviously if you take the Rich Vespian gas, you are basically boosting your own economy, which makes your all-in a little bit more powerful. And if you guys wonder why, do you really need that much gas? No, but instead of having 2 gases, you can only have 1 gas, right? And you can just have the Rich Vespian gas, so you can have 3 additional drones on the minerals, which makes your all-in a little bit more powerful.
Yeah, it is a lot more powerful. I mean, for the drone that makes the gas as well, right? And the cost of the gas. So really, it's more like 4.5 workers that you have extra mining minerals potentially. So it's pretty powerful. And the position is not to be understated either. It is a forward hatchery, so that means creep moving forward quicker towards your opponent in already a short map. I think roaches are most likely on the cards. Right.
I would actually love to see a very quick Dark Shrine out of Kung Fu, since he's opening up with the Twilight here. There is a Zergling running into his main base. There was an Overlord as well. This Ling... I don't know if did he see everything with the Overlord? No. I mean, he sees the Robo, so he probably knows what's up. But still a bit annoying, I think.
What is up, Roddy? Is it Dark Templars at this point? Oh, it's gonna be
Resonating Glaives. Could be Glaives into a Dark Shrine, right? You just never really know. Protoss players like to switch it up. They like to keep these Zerg players honest. I think just Glaives is really good as well when your opponent takes the center hatchery, though, right? Because it's hard to maneuver your Zerg units around between these 3 bases.
A little bit harder than the normal ones, for sure. It's a little bit further away. So good point. And this hatchery also has the exposed high ground behind them, so adepts can camp behind and camp that rich Vespin guys and be super annoying. So we'll see if that pans out for Kung Fu Banana.
Well, that War Prism is already on the way. I think Bly should probably stop building drones as soon as these drones hatch, though, right? Like, he's going up to 42. That's kind of where I would like to see him draw the line. And I would love to see an extra building go down, whether it's a Roach one or a Baling Nest. I almost feel that this is a tiny bit late already, but we'll see how this plays out.
We'll see indeed. So Bly transferring some drones over to that third. There is that Dark Shrine. And I don't know. Who do you like here?
I think I like Gong Fu because I feel the Roach Warren is a little bit late. Now, Bly might be doing like the Dong Regu thing where they at first just defend with Ling Queen, and then the next wave, the second shade, that's the one where the Roaches will really start participating in the fight. But Bly doesn't really know about the Dark Shrine yet. And this is actually becoming really problematic because the Dark Shrine is more than halfway done. And I believe there's only a single spore. No, there is no spore on the map right now. And it's still just Hatchery Tag as well. Dark Templars can straight up win this game.
Yeah, and the Adepts are trying to do what they can to distract Blythe from this fact. The Warpers are most likely to go into the main, and there's no Overlords to spot for it either, Roddy. So I think these Dark Templars are bound for victory right now.
Yep, the first spore is going down at the third, which is a very forward location. But if the Prism warps in DTs in the main, that could very well be it. The fight against the Adepts is obviously quite good here for Bly, right? Yeah, he lost a lot of links, but the Roach is doing a great job. But Dark Templars are showing up in the main base right now. No Hatchery, no Overseer. Bly is going to lose his main.
Yeah, that is so bad for Bly. One thing on the side of Gong Fu, consistently, I think he could make a little bit better decisions. Like if you send the Adepts to the third, I think that's better, right? Because then the army is further away from your other attack.
I mean,
so
yes and no.
Nice.
I think at this point, the Adepts are completely irrelevant. It's all about the DPs. Just prevent Spore Crawlers from finishing up. I think one more Dark Templar into the third base would be very good right now. I think he's doing a good job sniping that first spore. So can always save these DTs. Oh.
Yeah, it's looking dire now. I don't know that there's much that even Bly can do here. I mean, the lair is about 75% done, so that's going to be something to stabilize with. He does have the Rich Vespene Geyser is the one thing that I look at this game, and I'm like, you know, like Ravagers of a Rich Vespene Geyser, maybe?
I love that you love Rich Vespene Geysers as much as I do. You know, everybody else doesn't really appreciate how good this is. But I've seen you with your silly amount of infestors that you should never be able to justify. What was that map again where you always took like... There was also a center base.
Any map that has a Rich Vespene Geyser was that map for me, Roddy.
No, it was the one with the triangle set up, but it was the mineral wall, basically protecting your third. Ah, damn it. We played a lot of games on that map against each other, and you always took the one, took the Rich Vespene guess.
I'm so bad at map names.
Yeah, me too.
Rich Vespene Geysers. They're my jam. If there's one map with two Rich Vespene Geysers, I don't know what to do with that, Roddy. I gotta tell you, it's way too much.
I do, man. Unlimited amount of Archons or just carry us forever. And that's when you can get all the feisty upgrades as well, like Observer Speed, War Prism Speed. I love it.
Yeah, it would have been the best map for like an Infested Terran Rush if that was still a thing, because I feel like Infestors I can overmake, but I can overmake Infestors into nothing, you know? Like they can't kill anything on offense anyway, so very difficult to use. Now this game is sort of stabilizing a bit. I definitely playing from behind, but we've seen him catch back up last game just.
Yeah. I mean, he's going for the Spire again. He's like, well, game one wasn't maybe the best start. Spire still won me the game, so I'm going to try my luck one more time. This time, I really think that Gong Fu can just attack with Archon, Zealot, and Mortar, and there's really nothing that Bly can do about it other than potentially base trade, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I would love Bly to situate some static defense and start getting some Ravagers, because he's still gonna have the gas bank, right? If he defends, like when you go for the Muta Hail Mary, I think you have to focus on your defense. And if you can do enough damage, then you can begin to stabilize, but I don't think Gong Fu is gonna look to give him any of that time here. No. The lair is there. Is that the Hive? No, lair, right?
Yeah, lair.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's very bad news as well, because the Dark Shrine is still alive. So that means that once again, Bly is not going to be able to make any more Overseers. Bly is going to send the Mutas to the other side of the map. I would be very upset if Gong Fu turns around. I honestly say, well, actually, no, I think it's okay. You can recall the Archons here. Oh, because you just took
Overcharge, hello? He's fighting the Overcharge. No, don't fight the Overcharge. Okay, this is much better, but now there's a little bit of an army now arriving into the natural, so could have been a little bit faster of a call from Bly, who is going to fly now into the main, looking for more damage with this Muta. He's going to need to do a lot. Supply's fairly even, Roddy.
Yeah, but it's a two-base Zerg. Come on, without a lair. A two-base Zerg without a lair. Is that even... Do supplies really matter at that point?
No, probably not. Nice snipe on the center here, potentially, if he can continue to do this and find these probes. I mean, there's no blink available, so he's finding some damage with this Muta. Oh, the Archon's now blocking.
Yep, the Mutas are actually kind of trapped, and the first Phoenixes are on their way. I think even Bly is going to leave this game when he realizes that the Muda count goes up. Yes, even Bly.
Bly will not leave this game, Roddy. Don't be silly.
Not right now, but I think once he leaves
maybe
the
right
Mudas,
now.
real soon.
Not looking good.
No, Bly is re-expanding. He's not going to leave the game. You're right. I mean, he actually did a lot of damage with the Mudas. The biggest problem is, though, guys, that Bly has nothing going on at home. It's not like we've got something cool like lurkers or well-upgraded banelings. No, it's still just roaches without upgrades. And we do see a baneling nest go down right now, 10 minutes into the game, but nothing is going to stop this army of Gongfu when he actually decides to attack.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what if you really want to stay in the game, you have to do something like mass burrowed banelings and hope that your opponent doesn't get an observer, something like that, or just mass ravagers and hope that all the vials.
The burrowed baneling play against Protoss. I don't see it very often.
You shouldn't see it very often, Roddy. It's not a thing that you want to do. But I mean, you're looking for a miracle here, right? That's big damage.
Now there are a couple of spines that Bly was building before. That's why at first I was like, I think Gongfu can just run to the other side of the map and win. And then I saw Bly sitting behind 4 spines with roaches, and I'm like, never mind. It's actually better to just recall the Archons home and take care of the Mudas. And that is what Gongfu did, and now we're looking at a Protoss army that's a lot more powerful than the Zerg army. And Bly is just, I guess, kind of hoping that he gets the best corrosive balls of all time and maybe has his base up and running long enough to get a couple of banelings out, but I don't really see this go anywhere.
I mean, he's sitting with the Corruptors in the middle of the map, right? That's the best place if he walks into that you could get those vials. Has a lot of spines. Gonna try to catch the army here. That is a huge army, though. Vials.
Yep. There's a Warp Prism heading into the main base, and Bly really has 0 units to deal with it. Is this another lair going down? Is this actually going to be the 3rd lair that goes down in a 12-minute game? Well, technically the 2nd, but for the 3rd time, Bly is not going to be able to make any overseers.
Yeah, and Gongfu is gonna move into the army of Bly now with the slow links. Will they connect? That is the question in everyone's mind. Not this time around. They will run for their lives. And here come the banelings. Will they connect? That's the question in my mind, Roddy. Will they connect?
Even if they do, who cares? As one Archon does go down, I think Bly is hoping that he would somehow be able to pick up all the Archons and then surround this army with Zerglings. Yeah, Lynx can do very well against Stalker Immortal, but...
Yeah, I mean... What do you say at this point, Roddy? I feel like this game is like 3 minutes too long.
Yeah. I would like to say, Bly, let's head into a very quick break and get ready for that final match.
Or make more banelings so that we can see if they connect or not.
Yeah, but even if you drop them on top of the army while the Stalkers hold fire, I still think Gongfu wins the fight.
Oh, are they gonna and they deny me the baneling connections. Unbelievable.
I've never seen a man get this excited over banelings crushing into 7 Archons, guys. And this wasn't 45 banelings. It was like, there was an Archon for every baneling, cats. All right. Guys, no baneling connections, but what we will have is a game 3 coming up after this quick commercial break. Welcome back to the DreamHack StarCraft 2 Masters, where we are getting ready for the deciders match between Bly and Gongfu. A really big series for both of them. I know it's a little bit hard to follow this big round robin that we've got going on in Europe, but trust me when I say a win here is important for both of them if they want to keep their hopes and dreams alive of making top 4 in this group.
Yeah, most definitely, Roddy. And yes,
You
Bly
are muted,
is
my
1 and 3. Yeah, most definitely, Roddy. And Bly is, yes, 1 and 3, but he is also already played against Clem, and every match of his has been pretty close, so he has a lot of maps in his belt, and Clem is 8 and 0, so you know, make that 1 and 2.
Yeah,
because
actually,
everyone seems to be losing to the Frenchman.
it's not just Clem. Bly has also played Denver and Showtime already. So honestly, he still has a realistic shot at going on one hell of a run in the last few games of this group. But it has to start here. The man hailing from Ukraine, representing Team Raise Your Edge. This is Bly.
And in the bottom left-hand side, it is his opponent, Gongfu Banda for Cascade.
Feeling the rock music over there, puppy?
Yeah, that second intro was much more powerful. I'm feeling, I want to change my prediction on the back of that.
Okay. Who did you predict? You predicted Bly?
Bly 2-1. But now, on the back of that, and not related at all to this pro block, I'm gonna say Gongfu has a slight lead.
Well, a pylon block is nice, but there is also a hatchery going down on the other side of the map. And this hatchery went down a lot quicker than Ice and Chrome. So this time it's not that easy to just pull a couple probes.
Oh, this is sexy, yeah. Yeah, this is a hatch first. It's the hatch first that he had money for because he got pro blocked. I'm a little bit surprised that he's still gonna seemingly choose to take another base. Let's see.
Well, he's going to force out the double gate. Now, double gate has a lot of potential as well after the pylon block, right? Because the drones at the third, the base at 12 o'clock, are going to be very exposed against the first two adepts that could potentially be made by Gongfu. This game is just going to get weird. That gas is late, by the way. I guess that's always going to be the case when it's hatch into whatever you're doing. That means that circling speed is going to take forever.
Absolutely, and like you pointed out, without circling speed, these bases are very far apart from each other, so Bly is going to have his work cut out for him. This hatchery, do you let it finish? I think you have to at this point if you're Bly, to force out the second Zealot, which he will see, and just buy time overall. He can make like maybe 4, could he make 6 links maybe inside? So that's something.
Yeah, that's, you know, the best play would probably be to make those links once the adapt starts shading away, right?
Yeah, ideally, but I'm not sure if he has the time. The creep recedes kind of fast here.
Oh, he's got time, don't you worry.
Alrighty.
There you go.
Some now.
A little bit early.
Didn't shade, yeah.
A little bit early, perhaps, but this is still going to buy time, and time is obviously what Bly needs to keep his drone safe on the other side of the map. Look at that, a Robo even going down before the Nexus goes down.
Surprised no cancel on those links, but I guess he greatly values the scout from them right now, so he's gonna pay $100 to see a pylon and 2 gases and a poke at a probe.
$100?
$100 cash, Cirque dollar.
Was it in 20s or just one big bill?
One big bill, of course.
Wow, baller. Baller alert.
Hells yeah. You don't deal with the overmind and small bills, my friend.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Man, Gongfu might just actually open up with a Prism here, right? And then go for a little bit of Warp Prism, Gateway, Unit Aggression. Really weird, but I can see it being effective here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Gongfu hasn't actually managed to move out on the map after this start, because he was slowed down so much and he made units, right? You have to feel like you have to move out on the map with those units. And he would have been right to, and he got the block. I mean, we just talked about how those units could have been so annoying. I really don't like the Stalker much. I think he should have gone for double Adept and applied pressure right away.
Yeah, no, that's actually what I expected. I was shocked to see a Stalker. I was like, do we already have 2 Adepts? It was the answer is no. And I'm like, okay, Gongfu's got his own way of dealing with this. Now, he is going to be able to kill the Overlord. He should be able to pick up the second Overlord as well. Does he just want to go up to 3 bases really quick? I'm so confused by what Gongfu is doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the tech for Bly is going to be slow, so I don't mind trying to micro out with a Warp Prism if he loaded more units in, but he seems just overly scared of what Bly might be doing here. And Bly is kind of just macroing and getting away with it.
Well, it's that same supply block as we saw before, 44 out of 44, and now he just made 4 Overlords at once. At least one of them finished up, but it's once again not the cleanest start. But I'm just weird. It really feels that Gongfu was super paranoid about Bly doing a crazy all-in, right? Like just making nothing but units immediately. And since that didn't happen, the Ukrainian Zerg is actually in a pretty good spot over here.
Yeah, it might be the case, Roddy, that the last time they played against each other, that's exactly what happened or something of the sort, right? Where maybe Gongfu was overconfident with his units and then Bly caught him and Ling Bailing bust him on the counterattack.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, this just doesn't make a ton of sense. If you're a Gongfu, he's playing overly paranoid against a player that's quite honestly in his caliber, right? Like I think they're pretty evenly matched here. You don't underestimate Bly.
No, and I think one of the craziest things was that it wasn't just double gate, which already shows a lot of respect to the hatchery going down, but then it was a robo before Nexus. Like I just never see that in professional play. That must have indeed have something to do with the fact that Bly has gone for a Roach follow-up in the past or just an immediate Baning Boss, and Gongfu's like, man, that hits so quick, I need a quick Immortal or something. But since that didn't happen, we have a very unusual, weird game now. This move out has a little bit of potential, but the circling count is actually quite high. I would love to see a few more Zealots maybe be warped in here for Gongfu. The cool thing is that Gongfu has a double Stargate with +1 air weapons as a follow-up here. Yeah, it's going to be really good against the Roaches.
Yeah, it's looking really good. And this is, of course, a fake move out. This is the first move that I really like from Gongfu here. And coupled, I mean, with the 1-2 punch that is going to be the surprise. Stargates. Also, I like it because he is playing against Bly, so there's a chance you just, run into Mutas and win. But not gonna be the case this time around.
This is cool as well. A couple of Adepts showing up in the main base after the fake Prism expired. These Adepts obviously do pack a punch, and they're always annoying to deal with. That's a lost mining time, and a few drones going down as well. Well done. Good plays here by Gongfu.
Yeah, Brody, I would have loved for this to happen because he went for that very fast robo and he went Warp Prism first. I would have loved for something like this, like 4 Adepts loaded into the Warp Prism as soon as it's ready to go. I think that's something that Gongfu could have done, and it would have still exploited the lack of tech from Bly pretty heavily, right? Like it would have still gained an edge from everything else, but even then he played overly safe. I don't know. I like Bly's position, I want to say, but I like the moves that Gongfu is now going for.
I like the tech of Gongfu a lot, and there is a Spire. Now, knowing Bly, if he knows he plays against Phoenix, this can actually just turn into like Roach Corruptor Ravager or something, right? Like these army compositions that just don't really make a lot of sense, but Bly hates Phoenix, and then he's like, well, I don't want to build Hydras here, so let's just go Roach Corruptor and see how well I can do with that. I don't know, man. This is just crazy. We're almost 8 minutes into the game, and both of them have less than 50 workers. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, now Bly is losing workers, but he does have that third situated, and he has map control, so it's very difficult for Gongfu to take his own third. It is a very weird game. I love it.
Phoenixes are, in my opinion, the best unit in the game in low eco scenarios, but this is not super low eco, right? Like, we are spread across 3 bases. 54 drones is just barely enough to really get a proper army out eventually. So I don't want to say that these Phoenixes are game-ending, but I wonder what Bly does. I would kind of like to see Bly do nothing and then make like 12 Corruptors at once. I don't want to see him make 3 or 4 Corruptors because they're going to end up losing the fight against the +1 Phoenixes.
Yeah, and it looks like that's what he's gearing up to do, because he is saving a lot of money. The Spire now finishes, and will we see a bunch of Corruptors on the way? I think we will, Roddy.
Yep.
8, love it.
Yeah, that's obviously a good amount. Corruptors are very tanky. They start off with armor. But if you're down and upgrade, Phoenixes actually do surprisingly well, especially if the numbers favor the Phoenix player. So that's going to be an interesting fight, and it really kind of comes down to micro, right? If the Phoenixes just sit there, the Corruptors will win because they can one-shot a lot better. But if the Phoenixes are flying around, outmaneuvering the Corruptors, getting a couple of free hits off and picking up individual targets, then +1 Phoenix are actually perfectly capable of dealing with Corruptors.
Yeah, the Corruptors also have the higher range. So do you find it's very important to clump up your Phoenix? Because otherwise you have like, if you have 1 or 2 shooting, that's not bueno, right?
No, that's definitely no bueno. But I think that Gongfu actually, like, he's okay with giving up the Phoenixes now. He's like, okay, let's keep him alive. Let's see if they can help out in case I get all in by a million roaches. But other than that, I don't think he's too worried about winning the Phoenix against Corrupted War. He's just like, Corruptus, it is what it is. That's not that important. Let's focus on getting Archons and Immortals out and that kind of stuff. And a lot of Blink Stalkers, of course, because it's Gongfu.
Yeah, love where both of these players' mind is at. These guys might find some damage, actually. 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 drones will end up falling. So really nice job by Gongfu. I really like where his head is at, too. He's trying to find openings with his Phoenix, completely ignoring the Corruptors, and he will catch him completely off guard as the Corruptors are on the other side. But this is the go time for Bly, who is going to puke onto the Nexus of Gongfu.
Yeah, Caustic Spray does a lot of damage. A couple of Stalkers is probably not going to be enough to save it. There's no battery, and yes, Corruptors are going down, but that is the main base of Gongfu. Banda going down as well. Mate, these two, I think I can watch these two play against each other all day long, because none of this really makes a lot of sense to me. But I love it, because I have no idea who's winning now.
Yeah, it is a very difficult game. I mean, Bly does have the 4th situated now, so I have to imagine he's going to scale up better. What do you see going for Gongfu right now?
Well, Blink Stalkers and Archons, and that Bly is working with a relatively basic army, right? Like, what does Bly have right now? 4 Ravagers, 12 Roaches, a couple of Banelings. I really don't think that Bly has enough to attack off creep into static defenses. So, yeah, I think that Gongfu is just working towards a better army.
So far he is. His army is more expensive by 1,000 gas almost as well. So it makes me wonder if Gongfu should have been or should be looking to be a little bit more aggressive.
Explain this to me. 3 more Corruptors on the way.
Because War Prism.
Oh, we've got the slow bailing run by. It's so cute. Kind of crawl their way into the mineral line. 13 probes go down. And now Gongfu is probably really feeling like he needs to make something happen on the other side of the map. But I think he can. I think his army is good enough. Now, Ravages are always scary. Bailing speed is not done yet. We have a few sentries in the mix as well. I think this hatchery is going to go down.
Yeah, forcing some of those force shields before the Bailing speed as well. Will do something, but not enough to maintain the position of Bly. And now, yeah, it's anyone's game. I think this is fantastic positioning by Gongfu Banda. Does he not like Storm, Roddy?
I don't know. I actually generally don't. I've seen him use Storm before, but I think... Okay, there we go. Yeah, he does fire up Storm. I think he just prefers Blink Stalkers. He really believes in his ability to control those units properly.
True. All right. So let's see what goes here. The Phoenix is still alive to his credit, and he's going to find some more drone kills. So very nice job by Gongfu staying active with those. And after having denied a 4th, I feel like it's time for him to take his own, right? Relatively soon.
I mean, this is such a weird game. It's been a pretty weird series, but this one really tops it all. Ravager is now trapped by Morphing Banes. Of course, that's happening too. I mean, it's a really big one, guys. $125 for the winners of this map. But much more importantly, whoever wins between these two still has an excellent shot at finishing top 4 in this group, even if their records right now are not that good, especially Bly, because he's got some of the weaker opponents coming up next. I don't know if he can do it here, like running off creep into some static defenses as well. It really comes down to the engagement, right?
Yeah, it's a huge army on the side of Bly. It's a pretty expensive army as well. Lots of stalkers, but now Storm is going to be finished as well. So it's getting a little bit more and more difficult for the Ukrainian.
Bailing run by trying to happen again, by the way, at 6 o'clock, and they connect with a sentry. They got a little bit close towards the High Templars, but good job by Gongfu Banda there. He's paying attention. The hive is done. Great Aspire starts up immediately. Corruptors go for the main base one more time. To be
and
fair,
I want to see the 3 make a huge difference here. I think they will. I think they'll barely get it because he got 3 Corruptors. No. Oh no!
Yeah, no, the battery is going to save today. He could have even used battery overcharge there as well. Oh, that's an excellent save.
That would have been a good debate. And I really like that he waited too, right? And he was waiting on the overcharge because it's that's the debate. Good on Bly also to realize it before overcommitting.
This is just so funny. I mean, Bly is still trying to make stuff happen. He's got a bunch of Lings on the left side right now. His main army is on the right side. Lings will try to get a cancel on this Nexus, but the Protoss army is close enough. this does kind of open the door maybe for the Roaches and Ravages and a few Banelings that Bly has on the right side. He really shouldn't want to fight the army. Like, I can understand trying to snipe a gateway or trying to get a cancel on the Nexus as the Lynx once again. This time they really go for it. They get a full surround. Can the
They are
Phoenixes help out? The Phoenixes are going to help out.
Wow.
Gonfu keeps it alive.
Very nice job. I mean, it did buy Bly some space to get potential Brute Lords out, so that would be interesting. There isn't too much that Gonfu has to deal with that.
Well, technically, he does have 2 Stargates already, right? Let's not forget about that. And he's got +1 air weapons, and we have Blink Stalkers, so Brood Lords are obviously very good in the straight-up fight, but I think all Banelings blow up the Nexus. Well done. Okay. This game is so weird. Now, Gonfu had enough, but I don't know if Gonfu can really attack into Brood Lords. I think defending against Brutes is very doable for him right now, but attacking into them on creep, I don't know about that.
Yeah, and he does have the setup, like you pointed out, but this is the first he's gonna catch wind of that. He had no idea that there was a hive, much less a greater spire to Bly's credit, trying to, because Bly has been out on the map so much with his little army. And now he's gonna have the surprise factor. So, yeah, there's 2 Stargates, but there's nothing here now, right?
Nope. He is going to drop the fleet beacon immediately, though, so then we can see a couple of those Tempests being produced once again. I'm with you. I think the defensive Tempests are indeed really good. Then they shouldn't ever be part of the ultimate late-game composition, I think. They're just not good enough for that. DPS is too low. But right now, 2 or 3 Tempests could really save the game for Gonfu Banda, who's actually kind of maneuvering. I think he's just like, nope, I need more time. I don't have a proper answer against the Brood Lords yet. And Bly is kind of falling for it. He's turning around.
And this is what you want if you're Gonfu Banda. I mean, that's gonna buy him the opening that he needs. If he can snipe the Spire, that could be huge. There's nothing in the main book for Bly.
Yep, a couple of Zealots gonna get warped in. At the same time, Roaches got picked up in the center of the map. This Warp Prism is so important right now. Not necessarily for the damage that it's doing, but it's keeping the Brood Lords at home, and it's giving Gonfu a proper shot at getting a much better army to deal with those Brood Lords.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's ready to attack into them still. I think this space is much welcome for Gonfu and exactly what he needed. The surprise element is now gone for Bly. 2 Tempest and a Mothership in production for the German Protoss.
I really would have loved to see Bly the first time he had the Brood Lords to just get on with it, right? Like, yeah, deal with run-bys or counterattacks with your reinforcements, or just actually start a base trade and then get on top of the production facilities. Because right now, he is actually just trying to chase Gonfu. Gonfu is playing his game. He is making all the correct calls, and he is getting in a better and better position to deal with these Brood Lords. And I don't like where this game is going anymore for Bly at all.
It's not looking too good. At the same time, on the other side of the map, there is a little bit of a Ling run by forcing that photon overcharge. We'll say that.
Yep, battery overcharge is going to keep the cannon alive. That's how powerful it is, even though it was fully surrounded by +2 Zerglings. More Zealots being warped in the main base. This time, I do believe the Greater Spire will go down. And Bly, I love how clutch and decisive...
are trying their best not to kill the Greater Spire, I was going to say, and they actually did now. Okay, woo.
I mean, that was a bit silly. You know what I think is funny, Cats? Is that Bly is like one of the most clutch and decisive players in the first 6 minutes of a game of StarCraft 2. But you give him Hive, and I don't want to say he looks clueless, but it feels like he's second-guessing himself over and over again, and he's always moving out and then turning around again, and he's so just uncomfortable, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, the Brood Lord surprise, I'm with you. I think he should have crossed the map. At the same time, Gonfu was ready to run by, but I think that was one of his timings for sure that he missed. And now Gonfu has been playing so very well. Unforgivable. I think that Warp Prism got 3 warp pins, right? How does it stay alive when you have Corruptors and Aspire for that long? I think the Warp Prism did a little bit too much, and now Bly finally committing, but the army of Gonfu is much better now.
Yep, it is much, much better. There are no Vipers either, by the way, on the side of Bly. So it really comes down to the Corruptors. Can the Corruptors one-shot the Tempest? Normally, I would say the answer is no, because there's so many Storms, so many Archons available. But Bly's going to do his best. The Corruptors are fighting the Phoenix right now. I don't think that's what we want to be shooting at.
Yeah, the Mothership at risk. A lot of transfuse available on these queens, but the army of Gonfu Banda is smartly tucked in. The 4th will be taken, and maybe that's enough for Bly to retreat and try a play game from here.
Yeah, I mean, Gonfu still had a lot of money in the bank, but That's definitely a good pickup. It's not just the base, right? It's also 20 probes or something that went down there. So I think I kind of like Bly retreating at this point, because pushing the issue there, I really don't think was going to get the job done. Eventually, the Tempests were just going to pick off Broodlords one by one. I hope for Bly that those queens can make it home on time. They're so slow off creep. I think that was good for Bly, but I don't know if it was good enough, though.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that was probably the best outcome that Bly could have hoped for, because honestly, if they fight, Kung Fu wins. So taking a base and getting out seems like a good thing. The good old Broodlord Rambai, they call it.
Now the first carriers are in production as well, and the Corruptor control is going to be really important for Bly. I'd love to see some Vipers. I know we have High Templars out, and feedback is obviously powerful against Vipers right now, but I still think that Vipers are kind of a necessity.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if Kung Fu ever lost the series, it's looking like his game to lose, I think. But if he lost, it might be because of overconfidence to some degree, right? Like he's always choosing the safe way, and you know, it's something that can definitely bite you back against Bly.
Yep. Good job there though with the Tempest, right? Dropping a couple of Storms as well to zone away the Corruptors, not allowing those Corruptors to just sit there and chill and start picking up Tempest. At the same time, Kung Fu is active with Zealots. I really gotta say, I love the way that Kung Fu played in this game the last 5 minutes. The Tempests are a bit exposed right now, and the Archons are not really helping out. Why are the Archons not helping out?
Oh, wow. All the Tempest will get wiped. This is terrible for Kung Fu Banda. Not the best. This could have been even worse if Hafango went on those units before the Corrosive Piles, but with the Broodlords joining in, those Corruptors definitely exposing themselves a little bit too far.
Now we do have 2 carriers out, and I believe +2 air weapons is done as well. And a lot of those Corruptors are low on HP, but this could very well be Bly's moment, right? Like fighting 2 carriers is doable. There's a Mothership by itself. Can it get away? No, that's the wrong Nexus to Rico. It's because for the Nexus on the right side.
It didn't matter.
Okay, Kung Fu is going to counterattack. He realized that he needs more anti-air right now. Let's see what Bly does. Bly, this is kind of it, man. I think you just don't want to turn around anymore. As scary as those Archons and Immortals may be, you can't turn around with the Broodlords right now.
Yeah, he won't. And I mean, this looks great for Bly now. And oh my god, it's kind of a throw from Kung Fu, right? I feel like he really had this game. Is it not overrunning?
I am not sure. Battery overcharge being used on the carrier. One carrier actually does go down. I want to see some Dark Templars here. There's no overseer with the army. The Queens are so important. If you wipe in a couple of DTs here, you kill all the Queens.
Yeah, more carriers are here. The Queens are falling indeed. There isn't that many Corruptors. I mean, if the Corruptors and the Queens fall, he can definitely hold. And he is doing damage back at Bly's side of the map. This is not that much army, and what's left of it is pretty inexpensive, but it looks like in corner.
Why are the Archons behind the Immortals, guys? Like, that's not the right way to do it. The Archons had no range there. I think Kung Fu.
Yeah, but they outrank them. So they were like, you guys go in front.
I mean, that was pretty awful. Now, Bly is going to turn around. Let's take a look at the bases that Bly lost. We have Stalkers attacking as well on the right side. Bly has 28 drones. Kung Fu has 38 drones. This game is just bananas. You call them Kung Fu bananas? Well, that's what this game has been.
Absolutely, yeah. It's looking difficult for Kung Fu, but I mean, his economy is still brilliant, I think, right? I would say compared to Dice, at least. I wouldn't say brilliant, but I mean, 38 workers and 4 base to 27 workers and kind of 4 base, 3 base. What? I'm not sure what to call this. 2 base? I'm not sure. How do you count the bases here?
Yeah, I mean, the base at 12 o'clock is completely mined out, so that base doesn't count either. I don't know. I guess Bly...
Base in the natural is no base. I love that we're taking a look at each base. That's kind of a base.
I don't know if that counts as a base. That's a base.
That's half of a base. Now, is that a base? You confidently say that's a base?
0.5. Well, more than the main, yes. The main
about 1.7 bases for Bly here. This will get.
All right, we're getting Infestus with Neuro. That's kind of cool as well. Why is Kung Fu in the center of the map? Like, I don't know if he thinks that Bly is super rich or something, but he's not. Like, I actually feel that time should be on the side of Kung Fu, right? Like, he still has his targets alive as well. Like, maybe if it's just a fake, but it's so risky to be moving into the center of the map right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's Infestors out. At least he's moving out with Blink Stalkers of all things. But I mean, forcing units may not be the worst thing for him either, right? Like, I think if he can hold this 3 base, like you said, he can still stabilize. And I thought he was dead like 2 minutes ago. So this is pretty good for him.
Yeah, the extra carrier saved the day, and all of the corruptors were low. So I understand that Bly felt like, oh, what if a few stalkers get warped in, I lose my corruptors, and suddenly I lose all my broodlords too, and I lose the game. So I understood that at that point. Bly's like, maybe I can't push the issue anymore here. Although I still kind of think it's a game. Like I think Bly's obviously in a good spot at this point because he's up like 50 army supply. But a lot of it is in Broodlords. They are going to be very slow. I am so sad, by the way, that Gongfu did not warp in just one. Not asking for much, just one Dark Templar. When there was clearly no Overseer there forever, he would have picked off 4 Queens full of energy. Imagine how impactful that would have been.
Yeah, double down on sadness then, just to pile on top of it. I think if he had made an oracle with his 20 tempests, that would have been really useful too, right? Because he was coming so close to find the corruptors because he had no vision, Roddy. So that was the problem. Is the corruptors jumped on the tempest because they were at like something like 9 range from them instead of whatever they're supposed to be at.
True. And I still think that could have been handled a bit better by Gongfu as well, right? Like, Gongfu should have used his Archons in that fight, and he just wasn't using them. The Archons were running away first. They're like, damn it, we're out of here. Like, that's normally what makes it so hard for Corruptus to really dive on top of Tempest, is that you can't really hover above Archons, because Archons don't shoot fast, but they deal a lot of damage, and those Archons were just not helping out at all.
They just haven't been the most kind Archons. All in all, I feel like they are just not good to Gongfu. They're hiding behind the Immortals against the Roaches. I mean, if there was mass links, then you're like, great job, Archons. But sometimes it feels like he's defaulting to doing things. Oh, this Zealot will get surrounded. That's not good.
The Infestus here as well. Viper could be big. Are we going to see an Abduct on a carrier? I would probably go for the Tempest. Okay.
Interesting.
Guaranteed kill, I guess.
So got some stalkers here, cleaning creep. You gotta admire the diligence. He's been very good, Gongfu, at having multiple squads over the map throughout this series. So nice job by him. Also, one of the most diligent at clearing creep, I think.
Yeah, he's doing a great job with that, but his army has still been at like 50 to 55, and that's just not that much. He's still warping in Zealots like he's in 80 pro Protoss. I really would like to see him build a proper main army, because like I think these run-bys are cute and all, but he keeps losing Stalkers, he keeps losing Zealots as well. The Stalkers are in a lot of trouble in the bottom side, and these are units that I really feel like he can't afford to be losing at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. He needs to be building a little bit of a fatter army. I'm not sure what he's thinking with those. I mean, it's not like Bly is out on the map or anything like that. He mostly has links. I mean, against Broodlords, it's good. But I guess Bly is kind of short on links now, right? Like maybe the run-bys will start doing better.
I would just love to, like, I'm okay with trying to do a little run-by, but I almost feel that 3 Zealots often achieve the same as 6 or 7 here, right? Because Bly is either in position or he's not. And Gongfu just doesn't have the economy to throw away like 5-6 Zealots at a time. He is doing a good job in at least making this game go on, so he still has a fighting chance, but he needs to start growing his main army. Because if he just keeps making a couple gateway units and losing them, he's never going anywhere, and Bly will only get more powerful. And look at the amount of gas that Bly suddenly has in the bank as well.
Yeah, and that has been the story of the game for Gongfu. Only on the other side of the coin, he has no gas, right? So that's why we see him warping in so many Zealots, and then maybe he feels like he has to do something. This time around, he'll finish that hatchery, unless he doesn't. But I think he will.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, okay.
Don't think Fungo is going to save the day here. Queens are going to try to drop a Transfuse, but that is not going to happen, so that's nice. But I'm almost afraid that this might trigger an attack from Bly. And at this point, Gongfu... I can't believe that out of all the things that Gongfu could build, he's like, the Mothership. It's like, ah! Why?
You're a hater, Roddy.
I am.
It can't even be neural parasited, right? Oh, but there's a lot of corruptors. Yeah, I don't think it's great here.
I think more carriers, more Archons, and Storm, like that would have definitely been the way. And I mean, I gotta say though, as long as this game goes on, wow, gets the kill this time, by the way, on the hatchery on the top left side. Well,
very nice.
Yep, Bly wasn't paying attention. I mean, if Gongfu keeps Bly on Bly's side of the map, and eventually that carrier Mothership army does grow, there is still a chance.
Nice.
And yeah, the recall as well.
Yeah,
wow.
They went to an empty hatch. I like that recall. That was nice. Bly very diligent with Burrow, though. That's also a nice move. Gonna slow down Gongfu.
If Bly would have known how tiny the main army of Gongfu was, Bly would have attacked 17 times over, okay? He's got enough to neural the entire army, actually.
Yeah.
And there's really not much that Gongfu could have done about it, but as long as Bly sits back, the German Protoss has a chance. If I'm Gongfu, by the way, I give up this base. Like, I cannot be bothered. I'm not ready to fight yet. There's no need to fight it. You've dragged this game out for so long. Try to secure the bottom right side while still going for run-bys everywhere else or something. I don't know.
Oh, wow. He can drop this Nexus in spite of the burrowed link. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, this Banes, though. Is he looking? Saves him at the last moment. But yeah, you're right. I don't know if he can fight this.
No.
The problem is if you
Can't
give up
fight.
this base, you're not mining, Roddy.
Oh, here's that mothership. Those are all the resources he banked up. It gets abducted immediately, gets abducted twice. Can you save it, Gongfu? Seems like the answer is no. But there are a lot of feedbacks landing on Queens, actually. Now he loses Knight Nebulous as well. I don't know if that's good enough. Even though that final storm was juicy. The Corrupt account, is that high enough to jump on 6 carriers and avoid raid? I kind of think it is,
The
right?
Infestor support? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But Bly doesn't know what we know, so these are difficult calls to make, I guess.
Yeah, and Void Rays are being added to the mix as well, so that will potentially be a problem for the Corruptors. Now, the Mothership there, it dies first, but it always dies first, right, Roddy? It has to die first.